Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Empowered Pause. I am your host, Rachel Chenoa J. As usual, before we get started, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of information about the Empowered Pause and Speak Initiative, who the Empowered Pause is brought to you by. Right? So, Speak Initiative is a nonprofit peer support organization and our mission is to reduce the stigma around suicide and mental health in the Black and Brown communities by allowing our partners to speak, be heard, and live fully. SPEAK stands for Suicide Prevention Through Empowerment, Action, and Kindness. And as a peer support organization, we stand in the gap with people who are experiencing mental health challenges or who have had suicidal ideations. We stand in that gap by working to combat the rise of suicide in Black communities, to eliminate the negative stigma around mental health in our communities, amplify access to resources and support for mental health, and to support and encourage those affected by suicide to speak, advocate, and end the silence so that more people can survive. Right? So that's a little bit about Speak Initiative as we get into part two of our discussion on renewal. And we picked renewal since we are in the renewal season of spring and refreshing our minds, refreshing our bodies, making new behaviors that hopefully are speaking life into you, right? So, as part two of our discussion, last week I actually offered the idea of renewal of your mind and your mindset, different things that we can actually do to think differently, really, to stop negative speak, to encourage the thoughts that you want to be in the forefront of your mind, right? We have the ability to do that. Some people believe that an eclipse that we had this past Monday, it was a magnificent event for most people who were able to witness it. People believe that it symbolizes a time of darkness and spiritual renewal, and it offers an opportunity for introspection and the shedding of old energies. So, in our series of renewal, today I wanted to talk about a renewal of your emotions, right? With the hope that, again, a renewed mindset can lead us into more life affirming behaviors, right? Now, emotional renewal is a big one because all day, every day, each of us experiences a myriad of emotions. Now, having awareness, intelligence, and control of ourselves in those spaces is monumental to our lives and how we show up for ourselves and for others. I like to bring the transparency of the fact that my therapist gives me a lot of great information. And in one of our recent conversations, she offered two quotes to me that I would like to share here. One was, not having feelings doesn't protect you from reality, but feelings prepare you for reality, right? And then the other is, feelings are not facts, they are information. And I like that one because it gives you information about what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your body, how you're responding to something that has happened or something someone said, whatever the case may be. So to check in with those feelings, they don't have to be facts, but they are points of information. So I'm going to share an excerpt from a resource that I recently read where we talk about a little bit about emotions, and then I'm going to go into some of the techniques that they've shared in regard to renewing your emotional self and renewing that emotional space in you, right? So it starts learning to understand and work with your emotions as information improves the quality of your energy. For example, understanding that anger is about the need to set boundaries and identifying what you need to change helps you to identify a solution. In this case, it possibly could be speaking up and then release that emotional energy, right? In contrast, stuffing anger or any other emotion for that fact And staying in a repeated cycle of negative emotion takes a lot of your energy. Stress sends you into fight, flight, or freeze mode. And if it's not managed, it will result in chronic fatigue, low immune system, headaches, and more. Learning how to shift back into a more present state and release the stress in your body allows for recovery. The article goes further to offer a few ways that you can regulate your emotions and in turn regulate your body. So the first is to expend emotional energy. What we tend to call negative emotions like fear, frustration, anger, and sadness play an important role in life to direct us towards something that needs addressing. But being stuck there releases stress hormones that become toxic in your body. Make sure you create recovery activities to help you release, shift, and recover. Next, we have refuel. Include pure enjoyment. And that can be a dance class, reading something that you love, having a podcast, anything that gives you pure joy, pure enjoyment, or deeply relaxing. Like you can go to nature, you can just have a cup of tea, but give yourself that time to do that in your life, right? Have coffee with a friend, call someone up that you haven't spoken to in a while, that will not drain your energy, but speak life into you, right? The next is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness helps you learn to see from a broader perspective and live more in non-judgmental and observation of what is going on inside of you versus your life being driven by those experiences, right? Just basically saying, take account, um, go internal, see exactly what's happening with yourself and give yourself the chance to envision the entire picture, not just the moment of that emotional distress. When you give yourself um, a bigger picture, a bigger perspective, you can realize that you can take control of those emotions. They do not have to take control of you in those experiences, right? Next is gratitude. Practice gratitude, shifting you into a more positive emotional state. I believe I mentioned gratitude last week when we talked about changing our mindset. And gratitude is a practice that we can all do. And gratitude for the small things. You don't have to wait for the big miracles to happen. However, when you get up in the morning, just be grateful that one, you woke up, two, that you have a bed to sleep in, three, that you have toothpaste, four, that you have breakfast that you can make, five, like those are little things that when you practice that type of gratitude, I believe it opens you up to a more of an experience to have more gratitude for the things that are coming, right? And that can change your mindset, and it also can change your emotional well-being at that moment, right? Stories. You have a choice about what story, excuse me, that you tell yourself about you, your life, and given in a given event. You can tell the most hopeful and empowering story, and it creates more positive energy. So it's about changing the narrative for yourself, right? Some of us have had terrible experiences that, we are in the reality that they were not great. But at the same time, you survived. At the same time, someone was there to support you. Lean into those good moments of those stories about you so that there can be more positive stories about you, right? Next is technology and media. Dramatically cut down on all media consumption. Instead of going to social media or a movie when you need a break, read something or take on another activity that you enjoy. Basically saying don't spend all of your time on social media and connect it to our electronics. We do need life affirming behaviors that are healthy. Read a book, talk to a friend, go for a walk, be in nature. Those types of behaviors do speak to your emotional well-being. I realized, I think it was Monday, I went out to see the eclipse, and it was just beautiful being outside in the air with the breeze and then watching nature do what it does. It was wonderful. And then finally, we have exercise. And we'll talk a little bit more about this next week when we talk about physical renewal. But exercise also releases endorphins that helps you to feel more positive and that you can have more energy, right? So those were just a few ways that we can essentially do an emotional reset and take charge of the emotional energy that we may be experiencing, and it could be possibly causing us a little distress. Now, as I mentioned last week, I am in no way saying that healing happens overnight, nor am I minimizing the magnitude of my or any of your struggles. The empowered pause is about holding space, bringing hope, and offering a few options, right? So that is the pause for today. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges or need assistance, please know that you're not alone. At Speak Initiative, we are not therapists, but we are peers who understand. We're here to be a resource and to offer additional resources to those who want or need them. Speak is here to offer help and guidance that you need, that you may need to start or continue your journey to your whole self. All right. So thank you as always for joining me today. Join me next week for an all new Empowered Pause as we continue our conversation around renewal. Please take a look. Please look out for our upcoming announcements and newsletter containing information about community events that Speak will be hosting and participating in. Lastly, please comment, like, share our information so that we can reach anyone who may be in need. And please also visit our website where you can sign up for a newsletter or possibly stay up to date or perhaps make us a donation. Remember, your voices hold power, but only if we speak. Remember to speak love, choose life, and take care.